Yeah. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. We are in the rabbit hole. We are in the rabbit hole. And you know how to go in the rabbit hole, right? Jump down there. Ain't no gravity down there, so don't worry about hitting the bottom. If you want to get up out the rabbit hole, just reach to your left or reach to your right. Flap your wings and just get on up. But don't worry about me. I'll sleep down here in the rabbit hole. I live down here in the rabbit hole. I know y'all see everybody crying about the tank fight. Talk about he was down. Everybody want to see a boneless knockout, a knockdown. Everybody want the knockdown, and they didn't see him get knocked down. That's weird. I mean, ain't like he got hit or something. But let's dive into it. Udo G talks about the streets and slave mentality in the rabbit hole, though. See, a lot of times when it comes to the slave mentality, right? All you got to do is just listen to what people saying. Because a lot of times people will tell you who they are and where they stand. So, excuse me, if you listen a lot of times, you got people that argue with you about them being a slave. You know, a lot of times they try to include you in it. But they'll argue with you, oh, well, you come from slave. And it's like, okay, if you listen to the language of what they're saying is that they freed the slaves, I mean, that really doesn't define nothing. Like, they slaves, but they just free now. You know what I'm saying? They slaves, but they just free to run around. And that creates a separation between what a slave is and what a man is. Or just, and you know, a lot of times the issue with a slave is always that's added to what a slave is. So now we're in a culture to where anytime people hear the word slave, you know, they want to turn and look at the so-called black man. Even though it's very well understood that the slaves were the people that was coming over here as servants, quote unquote servants to the kings and queens of Europe. Those who the slaves were. And so in America, you had a lot of POWs, prisoners of war. And in them prisons, you had people that was being raised in the prisons, and or when people had kids in them prisons belong. I mean, them kids belong to the prison. And a lot of times, you had the mother didn't want to leave. The mother didn't want to leave their child, so they'd stay at the prison. The father didn't want to leave his woman and his child, so he'd stay at the prison. And that's what created a system of quote unquote slavery that really is was really started from a prison system. So now, if you look at the slave mentality, you know, a lot of times the slave mentality, you got people that are content with Port of Laws. Oh yeah, you got a shout out, man. What's going on with it, bro? What's going on with it? Yeah, man. I'm gonna send this up too. You know what I'm saying? I'm just putting in the work right now, and you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I'm right here. I'm talking about the street behavior and slave mentality right now. But we in the rabbit hole with it, so these conversations gonna get a little bit deeper, man. A little bit deeper. But yeah, back to what I was saying though. A lot of times with the slave mentality, you will have a person that, what's going on, Hilda? What's going on? What's going on? Where you at with it? Hold on. Let me get back. Let me get back to the content. Y'all got me excited on it. Let me get back to the content. But yeah. Okay. Shout out to Indonesia. Okay. I hope y'all safe out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here in Chicago. I'm in Chicago with it. The great city of Chicago. But right now you in the rabbit hole right now. You know what I'm saying? One of the rabbit holes in Chicago. There's a lot of rabbit holes in Chicago, but this the right rabbit hole you want to be in. Pause. But yeah, anyway, back to the comment. I mean, back to the content. What was I at with it? When you look at a lot of the things that's going on with the slave mentality, a lot of times the slave mentality, you'll have people that's content with somebody else having success. But if you got people that's looking at you as a slave, then they gonna have issues with you having things. They gonna have issues with you moving up the ladders. They gonna have issues with you being successful because they look at you as a slave. And the only people that they respect is the masters. And a lot of times you'll see that when it comes to the education system, because you might have somebody that go to college and they get their masters, they get their degree, you know what I'm saying? They get their bachelors, you know? So a lot of times in society, these are the people that's going to get a lot of respect to be looked upon as the masters or the leaders or the people that got the information in society. But the only reason why that's so is because once again, it's a slave mentality. A lot of these things that's going on right now wasn't even around 50 years ago or 60 or 70 years ago or 100 years ago. A lot of these things and a lot of these ideologies weren't even around 100 years ago. And so how does that affect the streets? How does that affect the streets and what we see going on in the streets, right? It affects the streets because now you got, look at it like this. Now we got a society where you got a mixture of kings and queens moving among slaves. All right? Or you got gods and goddesses moving amongst the slaves. And see, now the problem is when you hear that it's gods and goddesses or it's kings and queens on the earth, the problem is you always gonna tap back into your childhood and look at a god and a goddess or a king and a queen as some type of mythological figure that got a castle and they got horses and they got all these materialistic things because of what you learned about when you was a kid. Or what you seen on TV or pretty much what you learned about as a kid. So now that confuses you when you grow up on what a king or a queen is, right? But this the issue. This the issue. Just because you don't know don't mean somebody else don't know. Or don't mean that the world don't know. It don't mean that certain family and friends don't know. See, the problem is that maybe it's just you. Maybe it's just you who lost in a limbo of who you are and everybody else is aware of who they are. Right? I mean, a lot of times you will see that it's certain content that's being created in order for you to watch it. And just to get your interaction is enough to, yeah. See, you may not know who you are in the history of humanity, but humanity knows who you are. World leaders know who you are, right? We got to understand the revolution won't be televised, meaning that when it's going to be it's things that's taking place that you're not going to see on TV. You're not going to see these things on TV. You're not going to hear these conversations on TV. I mean, think about it. You don't even see like new. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong because I don't watch TV, and then and it could be in different states or different, different broadcasts. But you don't see like children being born on the news. Graduations that just flash and just run through the picture of kids graduate. You don't see these type of things on the news, like the real things that's going on, right? We just hear about the excuse me. You just hear about the glitches, right? And all this behavior that people practice in the streets, the crazy part about it is this is behavior that's adopted. This is behavior that's learned through television, that's given access to ideas and abilities that once you get locked up into the mental homes that they call prisons, you realize that it was all a bunch of bull. It was all a bunch of smoke and mirrors. It was all a setup. Hey, hold up. Yeah, my bad. I didn't want to jump off the line. I didn't jump back on. I probably should have, but it is what it is, man. It's a lot more we're gonna chop it up about. A lot more we're gonna chop it up about. Me personally, a lot of the ways of like jealousy, like the 7 deadly sins, like the jealousy, the envy, the gluttony, the lust, all them different things. I went through them things at a younger age. And it was kind of put on me. I kind of had to go through them things because of lack of resources, um, lack of guidance. So a lot of things I had to figure out on my own. Like the first time I learned not to call no man the B word, the bitch, I got beat. Like I kept saying it. I was about 11, I was about 12 years old. Dude warned me, like, hey man, don't call no other man no itch, man. You know what I'm saying? Watch your mouth. I'm like, whatever, itch. He said, hey, look, man, I told you, man, you don't call no man no itch, man. This is my last time telling you. I'm like, all right, itch. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even there. I'm not even letting him I'm not even letting him finish what he's saying. I'm not even letting him finish what he's saying. I'm like, all right, itch. All right, itch. Man, this dude beat me so bad. And I'm like Goku. I'm like Goku on Dragon Ball Z. I'm getting beat. I'm getting beat. I'm getting beat, and I'm still whatever it is. My cousin, hey man, they just be quiet. But he beat me from the basketball court through the offices in the gym, because we used to have a gym. Like the grown people used to leave, and we had the gym all to ourselves. It was crazy back then, but beat me all the way through the gym, beat me out the other through the office, out the other office door. 'Cause it was a door from in and a door going out from the gym to the exit. Then beat me out of the gym. Oh, whatever, bitch. Oh, man, the only reason why he probably stopped beating on me, man, because his fist probably started hurting. His fist started hurting. On the real, his fist, yeah, my body was probably hurting his fist, man. On the real, that's the only reason why he stopped putting that beating on me. On the real. It was crazy, man. This probably had to be like 2000, year 2000. 99, 2000, like Cash Money, you feel me? Well, yeah, man. Woman, boy, girl. Um, Another thing about the street mentality. See, another thing we don't realize is that it is a lot of agents that is in this mix. It's a lot of people that work for this system in the mix, meaning that not necessarily meaning that they went and signed up for the FBI and went to college for it, or all these other little things. No. But the one thing that we do all got in common is that we done all went through the education system, and within that education system, we all pledged our allegiance, right? And so that means that everybody has agreed to do their part to make sure that this country has been functioning since they was born. Right? You pledge allegiance to the flag, but you never broke that allegiance to the flag. And so people have been able to come in and manipulate that. See, we all witnesses to each other pledging allegiance to the flag. We all witness, but we never witnessed them pledge allegiance to the flag. And so allowing people to come in that we never witnessed pledge allegiance to the flag has allowed hundreds and thousands and possibly millions of people to come in and infiltrate and influence a certain street behavior, of where you seeing people out here getting killed, but if you look a little deep into who these people are, you find out that some of these so-called black people are not uh not from the Mississippi River. I'll say that, right? They're not from the Mississippi River, but it is a lot of people from the Mississippi River that's being killed and or incarcerated. So when we look at these situations, we understand that we got a bigger. This is a major issue that's on hand. But see, the issue with them is they don't know how far they could go, because anytime they do something crazy, is always some major disaster. When they mess with the wrong ones, it's always a major disaster. Whether it happened on the other side of the earth, they just don't talk about it. And so, because the fact they don't talk about it, some people will never see the connection. Like when a little kid get killed, all of a sudden it's a landslide over on the other side of the planet. When this happened to this person, all of a sudden it's an earthquake on this side of the planet. When something happened to this person, all of a sudden it's a tsunami on this side of the planet. Yeah, so I'm gonna give it a break. Um, we gonna come back and chop it up about something else, man. Like, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to Porter Vlogs. Again. Um, and yeah, this is the rabbit hole. If you want to get out, just reach to the left and pull yourself up. Or start flapping your wings, man. You reach to the left, reach to the right. It don't even matter which way you reach. Just reach up and get out. Peace.